All right. Stuff and Things, episode
4.
4. There we go. We're going to be famous soon.
Yes, sir.
This time we're going to be talking about some comforting things.
Yes. We're just kind of like a medley of various topics.
Yeah. But the holidays bring comfort. That comes with Christmas, the Game Awards every year. Those are always nice to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was good. We can get into sort of like the highlights now. And
Did you watch it live?
I watched the last hour live. The rest I watched today, actually.
Okay. So I watched it live because I'm a real gamer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I thought it was mostly a downgrade from last year, which was a downgrade from the year before, which was all downgrade
interesting.
from the year before, in my opinion. In terms of just like the event and the overall cringiness of it.
You thought it was more cringy this year?
There was a certain section that was extremely cringy. Yeah, I do. I don't know if you watched.
Well, let's just dig right into that. What do you think was cringy?
They did like a performance for Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2 live orchestra performance.
With that like weird actor, and he started doing.
It was just like a dude that came out that I'm pretty sure is supposed to be the character of Alan Wake, but it just looked like a great value John Wick that was doing a performance. And the music, I mean, I haven't played that game, but it did not sound like it was from Alan Wake. It was it had like an I Need a Hero vibe, you know that song?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It had that kind of vibe. It was just so confusing. And if you look at the chat alongside, everybody hated that.
I want to say the chat was the best part about the Game Awards.
It was the best part. It was a bunch of racist and insensitive things, but it was hilarious. People that don't understand how much work it takes to set this shit up. The first highlight for me was 100%, and this is the best part of the entire show. The actor that plays Kratos.
Christopher Judge.
Everybody talked about this. Everybody clipped this. But for good reason, he roasted Modern Warfare 3's garbage campaign because of the speech last year and everything. I thought that was hilarious. And when the show started like that, I was like, this is going to be a good one. And I know his agent was pissed. Like, he just lost like 100 jobs. Potential, you know how they're doing like all the collabs in Call of Duty? You know,
no Kratos collab.
Kratos is never going to be a character. Although it would actually be hilarious if they did. That would add
if maybe now he has a higher chance.
He does. He might. You know, it would add layers to the joke. So
yeah.
In terms of they showed a bunch of nonsense games. There was a bunch of anime games.
Well, it's like 80% of the announcements were just spam trash that no one will play.
Yeah, like anime and Final Fantasy.
Excuse you.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is good.
Final Fantasy 69. Final Fantasy 101.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Without getting too up topic, what do you like about that? Because to me, as an outsider, I looked at and it just looks like any other anime game.
Well, kind of going back to our last episode when we were talking about Final Fantasy, that was Final Fantasy VII in particular was a huge game when it came out. For a number of reasons, including the scope was extremely massive. You spend like the first, maybe 10, 20 hours of the game in one city, and you think it's like the whole game. And then it opens up to, like an open world map, basically. And you have an entire world to explore after that, which was unheard of. But in general, Final Fantasy, which is the scope.
Is the story good?
The story is often a mess, but it's
So you don't play for the story.
It's like, it's like how most Asian games are, I think, where the story is just extremely convoluted and crazy and doesn't really make sense. But the story is cool. Like, there are cool things about the story, and the world building is cool. The music is another reason why I really like it. Super nostalgic for me.
Well, it's like anime music, right?
No, it's like orchestral fucking music, man. What's anime music?
Well, I don't know.
They're not singing in Japanese. It's just instruments.
Well, yeah, when you watch an anime and like two characters are fighting, they play like that orchestral like music, like that kind of God of War-esque, like.
Kind of, yeah.
Did you play, the original God of Wars when you would fight like the gods or whatever?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's that kind of music.
Kind of.
That's probably the thing that sticks out to me the most out of those games as a non-fan and non-anime person is the music. Like in the end, They also did like an orchestra, like the Final
Yeah.
Fantasy music. There was like a girl that was singing. It was pretty good. It went on too long, but it was pretty good.
And they won best original music or whatever that music award was.
Do you think that was well deserved?
Yeah, and I think generally it's like a staple of the franchise is that the music is always amazing.
Speaking of anime, did you see the Hideo Kojima thing? He's on his weird shit again.
Yeah, well, that was a really weird part of the show because
Well, every year he comes out and it
Yeah.
always gets fucking weird.
well, at least with Death Stranding by last year's show, we kind of had a sense of what the hell the game was, at least a
No, we
little
didn't.
bit. I think to more of an extent than whatever the hell that was this year. This was just like some actors being weird. And then we got all this vague information about how it's kind of a game, but it's also kind of a movie.
It's an experience.
And yeah, so
I think it's I feel like it's gonna be, the game PT or
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be that kind of game.
well, I
feel
think
like
it's going to be
game,
it's
too.
going to be a horror game,
Like a VR game.
but the way they made it sound like maybe it's like there's some kind of online aspect to it, or you're interacting with other people in the game. I don't know, but it was very vague and weird.
Sure.
And that was another reason. That was another one of those moments where I really loved the comments because Kojima was talking and all the comments are just like, "Quit yapping, man. Let's just like move on. This is so boring."
He wasn't the only one. Every time some Asian dude came out and was talking, there was one Asian dude that came out and talked for like 10 minutes. And like 8 minutes into the dude talking, they were like, "What's bro yapping about?"
Yeah.
Like, it was hilarious. Like, I don't know, man. These people wouldn't be saying that if they weren't behind their keyboard.
Well, another highlight for me was that the God of War DLC announcement. That was pretty crazy, especially because it was so soon to be released.
I haven't played the second one. I want to.
Why?
Because I don't have a PS5.
Oh,
You know this already.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
one this Christmas too. It's gonna be part of my own personal gift.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna play that. All the PS5 games that you can think of.
Yes, and a free DLC too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that.
They did not have to do that. People would have paid for it. But just another reason why PS5 Sony is superior to Xbox.
In the meantime, we'll see.
Well, I think that it's the Kojima game on Xbox only because it had an Xbox Studios branding to it.
Did it?
Yeah. So it might be exclusive to Xbox. I don't know.
I don't think so. I hope not. That'd be dumb. Because again, wait, Death Stranding was exclusive to PlayStation.
I believe so.
That wouldn't make sense. It's probably going to be exclusive to PlayStation.
No. It had Xbox Studios branding to it. And he even said something, we partnered with Xbox Studios.
Damn. They
So-
must have given him a lot of money to betray his own kind. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't play Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima games. I know that he does like amazing games. He did like the Metal Gear Solid stuff. Right?
Yeah.
But I probably won't play it.
No, I didn't play Death Stranding either. And
I like him because he does push the boundaries of what a game can be and whatever.
Yeah.
Because like Death Stranding, what kind of game is that?
Well, another reason I like him is that he brings traditional entertainment and mixes it with video games where he gets all these, actors into his games and, his Jordan Peele now that he's working with. And he worked with like Guillermo del Toro previously and
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, Norman Reedus. So that's cool to see, and I want to see more of that blend when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to Flute Guy again. He really stole the show.
He steals the show every year.
Yeah, well, I think it's only the second year.
Although this year he did a crazy trick where within 5 seconds
Yeah, he did a new
he grabbed
flute.
the big ass
I
flute.
feel like his flute kept getting bigger every time they cut to him.
Yeah. No, it was interesting the way they cut it. They must have had somebody ready to hand it off.
No, he had a bunch of them like sitting next
He
to
just
him.
like dropped it. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason I want to be at the live show so I can see how he did that live.
I didn't notice that last year. I was at the live show.
So was I.
Yeah, I know, but
We were
they
there
don't
together.
know that.
Oh yeah, that's true. They don't know that. They.
So we were at the live show last year. We did not notice Flute Guy. I don't think, right?
I think we're probably asleep because last year's was pretty.
No, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really cool experience.
I guess, but would I ever go again?
No, not
Okay.
really. No.
It was cool just to It's because Pedro Pascal was there. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know?
Yeah,
and because of the guy, the kid.
The kid at the end. That was pretty interesting.
What's his name? The Bill Clinton kid, right? Did you see the tweet he sent to Jeff Keighley?
No.
He sent. I was really hoping something would happen. This like pumped me up for the Game Awards more than anything, honestly, because like right before in the morning of the Game Awards day, he tweeted at Jeff Keighley. And he's like, "See you tonight, Jeff." It was actually hilarious.
Nice.
And I was hoping to see him, but they must have like had security.
Oh yeah, they were ready. They were ready.
But you know what? If they wanted audience and like viewers to be tuning into the Game Awards, you know what they should have done? They should have invited him and worked with him to get him on stage to do some sort of bit. That would have gone viral.
That kid, kind of fucked things up for the Game of the Year moment.
What was the Game of the Year last year?
Who knows? But
See,
we remember the kid. We remember the kid.
You don't even remember what the fucking game was. So it was not that interesting. The kid.
What the hell was it? Was it Hades? Was that last year?
Oh, why would that game
win? Anyway.
No, what I want to say is that that kid made the show last year. You know, so if he had not done that illegal shit,
that was memorable.
Yeah.
Well, just rapid fire. I'm gonna throw some stuff at you. The game with Matthew McConaughey, I thought that one looked kind of interesting.
It looked cool, but I am worried of this whole like putting, because I like the fact that celebrities are being like put in games now.
It just has to be natural.
It has to be natural,
and I don't know if that one's natural.
I don't know if that one.
But the reason they did that is because of Interstellar, and it has similar themes,
and because Keanu Reeves and Cyberpunk, and because of the trend that we're going. The game did look cool though.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to see more about that. I was confused why there was a Muppet during that one segment.
They do it every year.
There were Muppets before?
Yeah, they do the Muppet last year. It's like a cringy bit that keeps coming.
Yeah, that's unnecessary. I don't know why that's there. What else do I have in here? Rise of the Ronin looks cool. It's a PlayStation exclusive game.
It looked like a ripoff of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, but Ghost of Tsushima is a cool game, and there were some other mechanics from that trailer that we saw where you can like kind of almost like Assassin's Creed-esque like jump on buildings and like,
but it was a cinematic trailer
and stuff. No, that looked in-game. That looked like in-game footage.
I don't really get much out of cinematic trailers because that's not.
No, it's nothing what the game is like. So it's just a little cock tease, and then,
I do love cock tease.
You get a little blue balls afterwards. I do not like blue balls. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Also, I do know the monkey game you're talking about.
Yeah, the monkey game.
Black Myth Wukong.
Wukong. Yeah, that game's been like rumors and urban legends for years.
I've seen a trailer for this, so it wasn't like the first announcement of this game, and I did. That's a game where like I'm really genuinely interested in playing it. Out of all the games,
that game is probably going to be Game of the Year.
You think so?
Out. I think because it's been so much talk about it. Like apparently, like just like the way the game looks and like how you can. That apparently like the story is like expanding.
I love the character design and all the enemies and stuff. They look cool as fuck.
Asian shit, they got high and came up with all that stuff. I mean, I'm not surprised that game's coming from.
I think that's a Chinese game, which is interesting because they don't really make video games in China.
Yeah, that's why this game has been like an urban legend.
Yeah. Okay, so in general, what do you think could make the event better?
Actual big game announcements. I know why they didn't do this, but imagine if the Game Awards was the first place that we saw the GTA 6 trailer.
But GTA 6 is much bigger than the Game Awards. Like
exactly. Yeah. We need to make the Game Awards bigger. They've been trying to do this for years. They want to make the Game Awards like the Oscars.
I do think they're growing, but I think a big criticism that I have and that a lot of people have about the Game Awards is that it's too much focus on new trailers and all these showcasing all these new games that are coming out, as opposed to celebrating the developers and the video games that came out that year, which is something that the Oscars and other awards shows do.
They do it better.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they do it well 100%, but they definitely do it. They did. This is why I think the show went downhill after the first hour, because they started rushing through a lot of the categories that like I wanted to see.
They always do. They do that every year.
They shouldn't do that.
They shouldn't. They should cut out half the fucking trash that no one's going to play.
And there's some
and focus on awards.
There's some really like dumb awards. Like there was an award for the most anticipated game. That's a dumbass award. Who cares?
It's fine,
Like,
but
they need
like
to cut
out of
that.
all the games that they gave speech time to, I didn't think that most like impactful game. There was, you know what I'm talking about. There was like
Yeah.
impact game. Why do you give that guy speech and not the action game? You know?
Yeah, or like the art direction.
Yeah.
one. Like, yeah, like because I think Alan Wake won the art direction game of the year, and from what I've seen, that game does have a pretty rad art direction. It would have been cool to have the developers go up and talk about, you know, what inspired them or whatever, but instead they save it for all these I don't know, these games that you're right, they don't deserve a speech, or it's not as interesting. I thought that they had a community support game of the year, like the best community support in Baldur's Gate won that shit.
Probably should have been Fortnite.
Should have been Fortnite, and I also felt a little bit betrayed that Halo was not on there.
Get the fuck out
No,
of here.
no. I'm not the only one that said this. Moist Critical said the same
Dude, that
thing.
game sucks. Fucking
No, Halo Infinite has had such.
Infinite sucks.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Halo Infinite has had such a comeback, and it's all because of the community. And I feel like it deserved at least a nomination. I don't think it should have won.
It's community support, meaning like the developers supporting the community, not the other way around.
Yeah, Halo Infinite
But
had.
the developers are not supporting the community.
Yeah, they
The
are.
community is
Yeah, they
supporting
are.
it.
They've been literally all for the past 2 years. They've been only adding shit that the community has been asking for, even against.
Because who cares if it's like 10 people playing the game? You know?
There's not 10 people playing.
Okay, I'm sorry, Logan.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna fight you after this.
Okay, well, any last words about the Game Awards?
I mean, game of the year was Baldur's Gate. That's not the kind of game that I would ever get near personally. Like, I don't like fantasy top-down games like that.
I don't know. Baldur's Gate. I don't really have a strong opinion because I haven't played the game, so I can't.
Does it interest you?
My friend was telling me good things about it. Everyone I've spoken to that has played it likes it a lot. So, and I think it really stands out compared to any other game that's out there.
I don't know. Are your friends that like that stuff? Are they into these games? Like, do you know anybody
Not
that
really.
like hates these top-down games but likes it?
Oh, last thing I want to say about this is that it's interesting you say it's getting worse every year, but I think it's getting better every year, and part of that is because they're integrating celebrities, and it's just it feels like it's becoming a bigger event. Like the speakers that they had this year, they had some pretty solid people.
I'll take my statement a little bit back then. I'll say it's getting bigger in terms of you're right. It's getting bigger in terms of like awareness, general awareness of the Game Awards, right?
There were almost 1 million people watching live just on the Game Awards channel alone.
Yeah.
It was like 800K.
I mean, I could see the Game Awards in 10 years being like the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because gaming is only getting better and better and better. But just because it's getting quote unquote bigger in terms of like how many viewers and viewer retention and all that stuff doesn't mean that they're doing it right. Like, they need to really hone in on what people they give speeches to. They need to stop rushing over the indie stuff, and just let developers talk. I don't know.
Just let celebrate the games that came out this year as opposed to
Games
promoting games that are coming out.
And the games that are coming out, I think the trailers that they show need to be bigger, and they should save them until the end.
Anyway, I'm excited to see what the future holds for Game Awards. I think it's going to continue to rise and be awesome.
It'll be the new Oscars in 10 years. And we'll have Tom Cruise at the Game Awards one day.
Hosting.
Tom Cruise hosting. No, Ricky Gervais is hosting.
Oh, is he roasting everyone?
That'd be good to see, bro. You know he wouldn't hold back. That'd be the best Game Awards ever.
So let's talk best holiday movies.
Best holiday movies. You start.
I'll start. Sure. I've given it some thought, and some of my top ones. I think probably my top.
Don't you dare say Die Hard.
Well, that's on my list of things to discuss.
That opinion is honestly too cliche to have.
Well,
you should take it off.
My question to you would be like, is it considered? It's like the age-old debate. Is it?
That's
it a
another
Christmas
debate
movie?
that is too cliche to even
Yeah.
have. But since you brought it up,
I wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah, it is. Why not?
Sure. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I honestly don't give a shit.
Perfect. Let's move on.
I think it is. You know what? Like, Spider-Man 1 is a Thanksgiving movie to me.
Because it came. Oh, because of that one scene.
So to me, as long as it's set in the time, it is fair. All
Okay,
fair,
perfect.
fair
I've
square.
crossed that off my list.
Yeah, sure. It's a Christmas movie, whatever you want it to be.
I think my favorite Christmas movie is Elf.
That's such a what are these basic ass movies?
I really like that movie, and it really slaps every time I watch it.
It does slap, but
Okay, so
no, you're right. I'm
no,
just saying,
people have different opinions on
I
this
think
topic.
you and 99% of
Is that
the
really?
planet-
Is that being like? Is that saying like? Oh, my favorite TV show is The Office.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
that
just
basic?
as bad? That's
Really?
just as basic, actually.
I don't have like a niche film bro answer for this.
Well, because there's no really a such thing as like Christmas movies that are film, but they're all kind of the same shit.
I mean they're all repeats. You know, like it's just the same shit every year on TV.
Man,
Those are the
I
classics.
can't even think of a Christmas movie.
Well, here's a couple of more that I like. Obviously, Home Alone.
Okay, you know what? That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'd put that in my top 10.
I rewatched it this year. I watched Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Yeah, the one with Trump.
Yeah. I think I like Home Alone 2 more even.
Really?
But maybe it's just like my New York bias.
It definitely is. I have a New York bias too.
I like it's, you know, in Home Alone 1 it's just like the little town in buttfuck where they're in and
Well, because the town's not the setting. The house is the setting.
right, but in the second one New York is the setting and it feels more festive. You get to see New York during the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, they made the right choice with the sequel.
Yeah. But I was watching Home Alone 1 and it did, so that was one where it did not slap the same, having watched it as an adult now.
Home Alone 1?
Yeah.
Why?
Or just Home Alone in general, because the criminals are such idiots, man.
That's the point. What kind of... No, come on, man. You're watching a movie. Of course they're idiots. Half of the things that he does to them would kill somebody.
It's like watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
That's what makes it so good. Tom and Jerry is peak.
I love Tom and Jerry. I guess I never thought of that watching it as a kid.
Dude, when he puts his hand on the doorknob,
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
hilarious.
just let go, man.
It's
It's like there's this Family Guy video of Home Alone. You know what it is?
Yeah, I know. You let
Yeah.
go, right? And they just like shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, I love the first Home Alone because it's so goofy.
It's goofy as fuck, and
I thought you weren't the film, bro. You're criticizing it over its logistical reasons.
No, I just watching it. It's a kids movie, and I just realized that.
No,
this
it's
year.
not just a kids movie. It's got heart because, like, he wishes that his parents weren't there, and then they aren't, and he misses them.
That's stupid.
Wow, your childhood was too perfect.
I'm just Jewish, so
That's true.
my opinions are on all of these are wrong.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well,
Give me more Christmas movies.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't think of any.
one of my top 5 for sure is A Christmas Story. I think
Yeah,
that's
that's a good
one
one.
where
That was not basic.
that one's not.
It's a based opinion.
Is that one's a base opinion?
I think it's based because it's an old movie, and you gotta be, Gen Z don't know what that is.
No, it's on TV all like 24/7.
Because Gen Z spend all their time watching fucking
whatever,
television.
but they're sitting at the table with their family at some point. I hope. and
Most
it's on
Gen Z
TV.
don't sit at the table with their family, and if they are, they have their fucking earplugs fucking playing Roblox.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah, that's true.
You're right. You're not wrong. You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
So I'd say that's a basic. I like that one. You know what? That's a top 5.
That's the top 5
That's a
for
top
me.
5 for sure.
I
I just remembered one that I really like.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's.
Yep, that was
The
on my
Grinch.
list. Yep,
Yeah.
I love that one.
That's top 2, honestly.
I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. So
Huge Jim Carrey
everything he
fan,
does, I love.
And the Grinch story is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And a good story too in general. So that's like top 2, maybe number 1, because I can't think of anything else. I mean, I like Die Hard, but I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I wouldn't even put it in the top 10.
I wouldn't put in. Wouldn't put in the top 5, but I think I would put Nightmare Before Christmas
Oh
in the
yeah,
top 5.
yeah, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
the top 3, low key.
Yeah.
That's number 3. That's a good one. They've never made a sequel to that.
Other niche ones that I like: Scrooged with Bill Murray. It's an old
I've
movie.
heard of it, but I've heard of it. I've never seen it. Does what's the name of that movie? What's the other Bill Murray movie? Does Groundhog Day? Does that count as a Christmas movie?
No, it was a Groundhog Day. It's a
It's
completely different time of year.
I mean, I guess there's. What's that movie where like the two? Have you seen a movie where like the two families are competing to see which house can shine brighter and be seen from space because of how many like Christmas lights they put on?
No.
You haven't seen that movie?
What is that?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
No,
If you
I don't know
remember.
what movie that is.
That's one that I would put in like my top 5. It's pretty.
Oh,
like
shoot.
Christmas with the Franks or some shit.
You're gonna have to look that up after, and we'll add it in.
Yeah, it's like they're competing. Danny DeVito's in it,
Oh.
and they're competing to see like which house shows up from space.
We'll add it in right here.
Yeah. The Santa Claus, the first.
Yes, that was the
I
other
like
one.
that one. Yeah.
I watched it. I mean, I watched it as a kid. That was the last time I watched it, but I remember really enjoying it when I was a kid.
No, it's so good. You should rewatch
Yeah.
it. They're like rebooting it.
Yeah, it's like there's a bunch of them or something.
Yeah. The second one's good too, and then they got done.
And then another one that I've been seeing on a lot of lists, Christmas Vacation. Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, I keep hearing it, but I've never seen it.
It's with Chevy Chase, who's one of the most famous comedic actors of all time, especially back in the day. It's one of those boomer movies.
I'm gonna get heat for not seeing this, but no.
I just watched it on the plane ride over here.
Was it
So
good?
it's fine. You've never seen any of the Vacation movies?
No.
I watched the original Vacation, and then I watched this one, which was actually the third in the series. And it has a lot of famous actors in it, like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in it.
Oh, okay.
The little kid.
Is it funny?
Well, the little kid who's his son is Johnny Galecki, the guy from Big Bang Theory.
And which one of that? Is
Leonard?
that Sheldon?
No, not Sheldon. Leonard? Yeah.
Okay.
That's like like the guy that lives with Sheldon, right? It's interesting fact about the Vacation series: in every movie, the continuity is broken with the kids. It's different child actors in every movie.
Is that
their kids completely change?
That's part of the joke.
It's originally it was because the son from the first one wanted to film a different movie at the time, and instead of casting just him differently, they casted both the kids differently, and then that continued on. In the final Vacation movie, he made some kind of joke about how, I don't recognize my kids anymore, and that was kind of like their nod to it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I feel like if I was invested in the movies, I'd be like, I love that.
Overall, I think it's a good Christmas movie. Is it in my top 5? Not really.
Bad Santa.
Yeah, that's another one that I've seen on a lot of lists, but I've never.
The first one.
I haven't watched it, so I can't say.
The sequel. The first one's good. What about any rom-com Christmas movies?
I'm not a big rom-com guy.
Neither am I, but I do have one. Love Actually.
Yeah, that was on. That was one of the JetBlue movies to choose from. It was all holiday themed, so if I had more time on a flight, I would have watched that next.
That was actually good. It's good.
Yeah, that one I hear a lot about.
The homie Ricky G is on it. Rick Grimes.
Yeah, with Holds Up the Sign. Blah, blah.
It's a good movie.
I get all these movies confused.
Yeah, no, I like that one. Love Actually is good. Christmas movies, that's about it.
Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No.
That's one of those OG Christmas movies that everyone's like loves, but I've never seen it either.
Why'd you bring it up?
Because that's just like a famous Christmas. That's like top of all time. Not being biased, that's definitely a top 10.
You think so?
100%.
But you've never seen it.
I know, but just knowing like the history of
What's
Christmas movies, I was reading about this. It's about a guy who, it's kind of dark. The guy who wants to kill himself. Like this father with his family, he wants to commit suicide, and then they like show what his life would, like a ghost, I don't know exactly, shows what his life would be like, or like the surrounding life would be like without him, and then he's like regrets wanting to die. Oh,
that is good.
Yeah,
that's a good concept.
It's a good concept.
Now I want to watch it.
I do really want to watch it.
I'll put it on a list. I'll watch it.
You know what? Let's watch it right now during the podcast.
Yeah, right now. Let's sit down and watch it right now.
Yeah, and just record reaction content. New channel.
Yeah, there's stuff and things to react.
I think that would slap.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's about it.
Any horror Christmas movie? Because they have like, I want to watch Violent Night. That one.
Yeah, that one looks good.
Or there's a new one that came out. Silent Night.
Really?
Like, because they do like these horror movies in like Krampus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, or Thanksgiving, the one that just came
Yeah.
out. There's not any that I like. I just wanted to mention.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of horror movies, and I don't think that there are any
Too
iconic.
scary for you?
No, I don't think there's any iconic horror Christmas movies
How did you end up watching Christmas movies if you're Jewish?
because I'm American and they're just on TV all the time. They're like force fed down your throat.
Were you allowed to watch these Christmas movies?
Oh, I did want to give a quick shout out to 8 Crazy Days with Adam Sandler. It's an animated movie, and it's like the only Hanukkah movie.
It's a Hanukkah movie.
It's a Hanukkah movie.
And you know about this.
Yes, it's a good movie.
Adam Sandler's Jewish?
Yeah, well, Adam Sandler's Jewish. He made the Hanukkah song, man.
Yeah, you're right. Of course.
My God.
So your family was not anti-Christmas?
Well, we used to go to our family friend's house every year for Christmas, and every year we would watch A Christmas Story on TV while we ate dinner.
And that's when you began to transform into a human being?
Yes, my horns went down to my... Yeah.
You threw that little hat in the trash.
Home Alone is iconic. I don't know. I've always just seen it on TV and watched it. And that one time I watched Santa Claus, but I still, from when I was 7, but I still remember it. Mostly just when I was little, seeing things on TV. I don't really go out of my way in like July to watch, Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Well, why would you watch it in July?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is how was it for you? And let's transition now to Christmas traditions or holiday traditions, because for instance, watching certain holiday movies is a big tradition for a lot of families. So was it like that for you?
Yeah, usually all December you just watch nothing but Christmas movies. That's how my family was. Like just like all October you watch spooky movies, and all of Christmas you would watch Christmas movies, and like the 24th, usually you spend it literally just watching whatever was on TV. Nowadays, it's more optional, right? Because you got streaming and you just pick what you want to watch. But yeah, I mean, what I find interesting about Christmas traditions too is about because I used to think everybody did it the same way, but as I've gotten older, I find that people do it slightly different. So like for me, I would never open Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve. Like my family never did that.
No one does that.
Yes, they do. You talk to enough people.
Wrong. That's wrong. Because in every movie, they're opening presents on Christmas Day in the morning.
No, but there are people out there that start opening gifts on Christmas Eve, and then there's more gifts on Christmas Day. But there's like the Christmas Eve gifts, and then there's the Christmas Day.
That's not typical, I don't think.
It is typical.
And I am the expert on this subject. Okay?
No, you're not. You're Jewish. You barely found out what Christmas was yesterday.
Yeah.
But like we opened all of ours on Christmas morning, like the 25th in the morning, like at 5-6 a.m.
Yeah.
And usually I would always like to go to bed super early on Christmas Eve. Actually, when I first really made the connection that Santa wasn't real, was on the night of the 24th, where I was in bed. And then I heard the door open, and I looked outside my window, and it was my mom and dad in the back of the car trunk taking shit out. And that's when the magic was ruined for me.
Damn.
Yeah, I was about 15. So
you must have been pretty upset that Christmas.
I was. I never got. Speaking of Christmas gifts, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Christmas gift I never got.
Okay.
That I wanted when I was a kid. That was my dream Christmas gift. Was one time when I was a kid, I went to like a Target or I went somewhere and I saw a Super Mario 64 pinball machine.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I remember I ordered that for Christmas 3 years in a row. And
What do you mean by ordered that?
I ordered that from Santa Claus. I was like, I would like this. So
you wrote a handwritten
Well,
letter?
I mean, I would do the whole thing where I would write a letter, right? I would sit down and spend too long writing a letter to Santa Claus. And I would always request or kindly ask for the Super Mario 64 pinball machine. And I asked for that 3 years in a row, and that motherfucker never gave it to me. But then, when I realized what Santa truly was, I just realized I was too poor to probably afford it. Because it was like $200.
Was it like a full-size pinball machine?
It was a full-sized Super Mario 64 like pinball machine. Like it was awesome. and it like made the noises and everything because you could play it at the store.
So I saw a picture of a kid's Christmas letter from this year.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, "Dear Santa, this is what I would like for Christmas." And it was an Amazon URL.
Oh,
like Amazon.com
You sent them a link.
Yeah.
That's funny. I wonder if they like nowadays, dude. Nowadays, it's impossible. I feel like nobody believes in Santa nowadays because like with the internet and shit. It's impossible. I would have found out. The only reason I didn't find out was because like I wasn't on Xbox Live. Like I was a dumbass teenager that still believed in Santa. So like nowadays, I feel like I would have found out coming out of the womb.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know any Goy kids, so I can't say.
The fuck is Goy?
Goy is non-Jew.
Is that like a official term, or is it
Yes.
just like a racist?
No, I mean it's an official term. I don't know what you consider official, but I mean, it's a term. It's a term that Jews use.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, aside from that, we usually like put like make like cookies or stuff like a Christmas cake. Usually the whole day, like the oven's running, which I'm sure would freak you out. So just a bunch of sweets and coffee, and that's pretty much the entirety of my Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day was just enjoying the gifts, whatever it was. And then at least with Mexicans, we also have, like, you know, you mentioned that your Hanukkah is like 8 days of gifts or whatever, but they're 8 shitty gifts, so it's kind of inferior anyways. So
sometimes it's just one good one, and then you don't get anything else.
Mexicans have a part 2 of Christmas. It's called Three Kings Day. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
So it's kind of like a second Christmas where, like, you know, you get the big juicy gifts on Christmas, but then like if you wanted like still one more thing that wasn't delivered on Christmas, or if you wanted some extra money or whatever, you would get it on Three Kings Day. And Three Kings Day, if I'm correct, is on January 6th. And the story is it's some Catholic religious shit because I used to be Catholic. And
now you being like atheist or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could say that. I'm just me, whatever.
Agnostic, whatever.
You could say agnostic. Agnostics are pussies, though. So
yeah.
I'm an agnostic. So the story, if I remember, the story is like these 3 kings that were taking baby Jesus to God or the Virgin Mary, some dumb shit like that. No offense to Catholics, okay, but it was some story. So like they would, on their journey to taking like the kid, they would stop by and leave a little gift for you.
Who you?
Like me.
What about me?
Like it'd be me. Like you. Like if you were a believer or whatever.
If on their way to
drop off baby Jesus to whoever it is that they
why did they kidnap a child?
No, they were taking him to God or something. Like they were like doing like the.
It's like another way of saying we're gonna murder you.
Look up the story of the 3 kings.
So this is different than like the 3 wise men that like went on their little camels to baby Jesus.
It might be the same shit, actually. You seem to know about
it. They didn't kidnap him and take him to God.
No, you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, the point is that there was 3 traveling kings, and on their journey they would drop off a gift. So what I would do is, the tradition was I would get a shoe, and I would whisper into the shoe what I wanted. Look at you, fucking laughing on my childhood. You would whisper into the shoe what you wanted,
mm-hmm.
and I would say like, "Oh, like I want like a video game." It would be like a proper gift.
You have to whisper in Spanish, or it wouldn't work.
Well, I only spoke Spanish at the time.
Okay.
But the kind of gifts that you would expect, you couldn't order like an Xbox, right? But I could get like a video game.
Who made these rules? How do you know this?
I know the 3 kings, man. Like I know who they are. I'm homies with them.
Okay.
Still to this day. And then you'd whisper into the shoe, and then you would leave the shoe on the side of your window, or you would leave it outside. And then the next morning, you will either find the gift itself or the money to buy that gift.
Or the shoe is just gone.
That never happened to me.
Depends what neighborhood you live in.
Or the shoe was empty, and then it would just be a sad story. That means you were too broke to even afford a $60 video game. Back in the day, $50. Everybody forgets it used to be $50.
Now it's 70.
But at the night of the 3 Kings, January 6th, you would eat.
Whoa.
What?
That's the Insurrection Day.
Oh shit, that's true. It's funny. Maybe the Three Kings has something to do with it. But that night you eat a special bread. You go to the bakery and you get like a special bread that's called La Rosca in Spanish. You look it up, find a picture and put it right here. I'll find a picture and put it right here. And it's
I'm gonna be editing the long form, so don't take credit for me.
I will be editing the long form this time too.
Okay.
So you put the it's like a circular bread and it has like sweets inside, like gummies or whatever. Not the good kind of gummies, but like just normal gummy, like gummy bears and stuff like that.
In the bread.
Yeah, but you can see it visually. And you would get together in the evening and eat the bread with like it's good bread. It's a cake. It's like eating cake. And then you just drink it with milk or whatever. And there was another tradition within this where inside there was always a little baby hidden inside the bread. Not a real baby. Like a toy of a baby.
Okay.
And if you got and you didn't know where it was always like jammed in there. So you could kind of choke on it.
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like a hazard.
But if you got this hazard, it apparently was a good luck. And it meant that, good things were to come if you got the baby. Like if it was you who got the baby.
That's pretty interesting.
That was like my second Christmas, which I always got something. I either got like $20. I usually got the money or the actual gift. And I always looked for, like, every time after Christmas was over, like, I was like, oh, now I start looking forward to the Three Kings.
So what you're saying is that you celebrated January 6th insurrection before it even existed?
Yes, I did.
Wow. That goes full circle back to your anti-Semitism, man.
Yeah, it does. And I'm Mexican, too. So it's crazy that I support that stuff.
You're kind of diverse in a way. It's kind of
it's kind unique.
Of liberal in that way.
Progressive.
Progressive, yes.
Yeah. So that was my second Christmas. And then one more tradition that I don't know if you've heard of that I want to drop. This is a New Year's tradition.
Okay.
This was a tradition like on New Year's, you would always eat right after New Year's hit, you would eat 12 grapes.
Oh.
You never heard of this?
No.
Yeah, because you're not Mexican.
No, I'm not.
You're a filthy Jew. But you would have to eat 12 grapes, and each grape you make a wish of what you want to accomplish in the new year. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
And you're supposed to eat them as fast as possible, like swallow them, whatever you need to do, choke, die.
Yeah. If that's one of your wishes.
Yeah. Yeah, then they would come true. So you would swallow, and then you would wash it down with wine. If you were a kid, you would wash it down with sangria. You know what that is?
Still wine?
No, it's fake wine.
It's so like non-alcoholic?
Soda wine, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty lame.
Yeah.
As a Jew,
as an alcoholic Jew.
Well, no. Well,
I know you started drinking when you were 5.
Well, I'm Russian and Jewish. Like Jews in general, like they'll give their kids wine and stuff. What you were saying reminds me. Well, go ahead. You finish.
I didn't finish because it gets dumber.
Okay.
So you would, as soon as you did that, you would have luggage prepared every time with like just clothes filled in. And after you like swallow the grapes and swallow the wine, you would get your luggage and go out into the neighborhood, like wherever it is you live, with your luggage, and usually with your family. You would all have a piece of luggage, and you would run around the neighborhood screaming, just like Happy New Year, whatever, and you would just run around laughing with your luggage, and that was supposed to signify good luck for travel to come in the new year.
So if you're the only Mexican family in the neighborhood, you guys are just fucking nuts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just fucking nut jobs.
But it only happens, and usually I think this is a Mexican thing. So usually it would be a couple of people. Not everybody would do it because it is kind of weird. And you would just, travel around, and it wishes you like good and safe travels. Like when you travel, you'll be safe and stuff, Yeah, you just run around with the luggage, like even if it's like half open, like usually like it'd be spilling out or whatever.
Oh my god! What about your clothes?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's part of the fun. You're just running around, and it's freezing usually because it's fucking December 31st.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, I haven't done that in years.
Your story is making me think about traditions in my family, and
yeah,
generally, like with the Russians, they're really passionate about New Year's as opposed to Christmas because they have their own like Orthodox Christmas,
Yeah.
which is in January or February even. But Russians they have a yolka, which is a Christmas tree essentially, but it's like a New Year's tree. So a lot of Russian Jews even had Christmas trees in their households because it was considered like a New Year's tree.
Yeah.
Although we never had that in our family, I know other Russian Jews that have Christmas trees every year. But also Russians celebrate New Year's for like 3 weeks. Like no one works for like all of January. Basically.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they just get lit and party.
Drink vodka.
Yes, but
do you partake in this?
Well,
you don't because you live in here.
Yes, I mean I celebrate New Year's like normally, and
normally. So it's not normal.
Normally for like Americans.
You gotta specify.
Yeah.
Yeah, racist.
So in my family, even though we're Russian, for some reason we don't drink vodka. We drink tequila. We only drink tequila in terms of hard liquor. So I am kind of Mexican a little bit.
You are. In more than one way too.
Why? Because I'm short? Wow, man. That's messed up.
Because you're short, have a Mexican lady friend.
Oh my god, I'm not make another edit.
I said lady friend!
Okay, fine. That's fine.
I didn't say you've been inside a Mexican.
Whoa. This
Talking about me.
Yeah, well, I've been inside you. Yeah, that's true. Alright, we gotta wrap this up.
So Christmas is coming, and this is the last episode of the year.
Yes.
To take, to just fill out the remainder of the year and probably a little bit of the beginning of January too. We
want to thank all of our viewer for watching.
Yeah. No, don't say viewer. On TikTok and Instagram, we get more than a viewer.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So this is honestly, I think, I don't know. It's hard to pick. It's either Halloween or Christmas between my favorite holidays. I guess I gotta pick Christmas just because Christmas allows me to see my family and shit. But, December, it's like best. I wish it was like that all year, but I also don't because that's what makes December special.
Yeah. It's December special, and I hope you have a great holiday break.
And me too. You gotta make sure to do the tradition so that when you fly back from New York,
you know what? I think I might do the Mexican tradition with the luggage this year.
Yeah, that way your plane doesn't crash on the way back.
I would prefer that not to happen.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we will see you next year with better equipment and lighting
and a new setting. Well, we might have one more episode, but
we might have one more episode.
We have fun things in store.
Yeah, we might have one more episode with this setting, but there will be a new fun setting starting in 2024.
Big plans for next year. Alrighty, cheers.
Merry Christmas, people.